Oh my God. All right, Abdul, we'll start with you.
I'm a freshman and a computer engineering major.
You're a freshman from Kuwait.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Haoyu Wang. I'm accounting major, so junior, and I'm from China, but I've been living in Singapore for the past over a decade. Yeah.
All right.
Hi, my name is Vivek. I'm a second year major right now studying aerospace engineering. I was born in India, but I've lived almost all of my life in Kuwait.
Hi, my name is Julie. I'm a sophomore studying biomedical engineering. I'm originally from Egypt, but I've lived almost all my life in Dubai.
On Tuesday, we talked about homogeneous cultures, okay? We talked about cultures that have very few people who are born, or societies, countries, right? Where very few people are born outside of that country. And in particular, two of the volunteers were from Korea and one was from China. And in Korea and China, almost everybody, meaning like 96.5% to 97%, have Chinese or Korean ancestry. Most people, when you see Koreans, so we talked about this, they're Koreans. You kind of have a real sense of who they are. But you all have experiences that are very different from that.
I wanted to ask, how do the countries, the diverse countries that you guys are from, manage the societal hierarchy economically? Because if there's immigrants from all different parts of the world, there are bound to be immigrants from the richer side of the world and the poorer side of the world.
Yeah.
And those immigrants who come to your countries are bound to be much more affluent than those of some of the lesser fortunate, or even the native population. It's a big problem in America as well, but I feel like one of the ways that we do it is by merging everyone together, that eventually throughout generations it kind of dies down. But if you guys are so
separated,
I wouldn't say insistent, but focus on maintaining that separation. How do you manage that kind of hierarchy?
Okay, it's like integration and separation at the same time. Not in Singapore, by the way. You all are although there's still the separation, right? It's still the communities. But go ahead, how do you do that?
With maintaining separation.
Just the economic hierarchy, right? Because this guy here, do you experience discrimination in Kuwait? How much do you experience, actually? I'm not going to say do you. I know you do. How much do you experience?
Well, personally, to me, it's not that often, but I've heard from other people that it's fairly common. Especially if you're looking at expats who come from America, light-skinned people who are white, you usually get favorable treatment over people who come from Asia, Indians.
Yeah, darker skinned Indians, from the South, right?
Yeah.
People like you. Yeah. Bro.
So with the hierarchy, the social hierarchy that he was talking about, so I've seen many expats in Kuwait who have reached that high class in Kuwait.
Yeah.
They're surgeons, they're doctors, they're engineers, they have their own companies. But I do believe it's kind of harder for expats, since coming to Kuwait usually means you're coming from nothing. Why else would somebody leave his country, his family, other than to make a living for himself?
Yeah, you're either coming with something, which is why a lot of people coming here. For example, in the United States, so many Africans who come here with being highly skilled, highly talented Egyptians. The Americans with some of the highest rates of education, of college graduation, and so on, are Egyptians who come to the United States. The Egyptian American community is just phenomenally, educated and advanced, and same with Africans here.
Yeah, so that's why, because most expats come with nothing. So most Kuwaitis that you can see that are in the higher social hierarchy, it's due to them being generations of wealth. So it's not just one generation.
Okay. Do you have a question from the stream? Okay, so how do you think the push for DEI initiatives has impacted the development of relationships? There's this push here for all this diversity and equity, like Penn State, we're always putting these programs on to teach about diversity. It's like a diversity day
Racial Harmony Day.
Racial Harmony Day. That's every day in the U.S., right? There's somebody doing something for racial harmony here. You know, at a place like Penn State or whatever. You know, what do you got? What do two of you think about that? All this diversity initiatives.
Well, I mean, you did mention like Race Harmony Day, where like you want to maintain cooperation so that people live together.
Yeah.
But the problem that I feel, especially with like initiatives like this, is you're considering people based on more than their merit. You're basing them off of their merit plus their culture or their race.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like if that plays an effect of like what you do or how you end up, like that's bound to create like some friction between like relationships. It's at that point where if you meet someone, maybe one of the things they could point to was, oh, you weren't as skilled as me, but you made it this far.
So maybe there's some way that it happens in Kuwait that actually might be better for us in the United States. Just kind of let people be in a certain, like separate a little bit, let people live in kind of separate communities, stop pushing the...
Yeah, exactly. If you were to consider people base them simply off their merits instead, would be like, I feel a better solution than pushing for something so hard.
Yeah.
Because if it gets so big to the point that it's affecting like what you accept people with, so like what kind of qualifications somebody has, that's bound to lead to some
All right,
problems.
let me ask you this. Do you feel more welcomed in Kuwait or in the... You've only been here for a couple of years, right?
Yeah.
But just from what you feel here, is there a difference between how you feel welcomed or embraced here versus Kuwait?
I would say I feel more welcomed here.
Yeah? How about you?
I feel more welcome there, not here.
We're welcome there. What would you need to be more welcomed here?
يعني I feel welcomed in both places, but there for sure more. Just also maybe because I'm Arab as well.
Matt from Middle East says, how is identity formed in your countries? Oh, this is a really good question, right? So, bro, I'm going to ask you, how is identity formed in Singapore? Like, you're just Singaporean. Do people have different interpretations of what that means?
Majority of the things probably similar. The food you like, the places you hang out at, the language you speak. But how these, they were formed, I suppose, through common memory, common experience. Because since primary school, which is elementary school, people are just put into diverse classes. You have like everyone in your class.
Got
you
you,
have to
got
learn
you,
to
okay,
deal with
okay.
like different people. So
Well, it's also pretty cool that, like,
Yeah.
Singapore, how many people are there? 2.5 million?
probably, I don't know the numbers.
It's like, what was it? Your one prime minister said it was the red dot, right?
yeah,
Remember
red
that?
dot on the
The
map.
red dot on the map. And like, it's kind of cool to live there. It's like being in Dubai. Like when I go, the first time I went into the airport in Dubai, I was like, holy it's like everywhere I turned, there was somebody from some different culture and all the different.
But also because Dubai is a very known city for connecting flights.
Yeah, connecting flights.
That's
yeah.
also a reason.
Hey, I want to take Matt's second question here, though. Is there necessarily something specific that identifies people living there, or is it more like, I live in? Like, bro, like I live in Kuwait as opposed to I am something. You see the difference, right? Like I am American. I live in the U.S. But you guys, it sounds to me like at least the two of you like separate that somehow.
I feel like to make that difference, like to go from I live in to I am, there has to be like some sort of effort made by both communities, like the community that's like trying to integrate and the original community as well, so that you can like sort of adapt the people coming.
Oh, right. You have to adapt to people coming. Do you feel like that, bro? Do Kuwaitis ever feel just kind of annoyed at all of these foreigners here? That 70% of the population, like everywhere you turn, is foreigners, or?
No, I don't think a lot of Kuwaitis do feel that. It's because most of the foreigners who are in Kuwait are the ones who helped build Kuwait.
Dude, yeah, exactly. It's like in Qatar, man. Dude, Koreans. See, what my message for Korea has been, because I've done a number of talks in Korea about this, is that you have to start immigration into Korea more quickly. Because if you wait until there's a crisis, right? Now, Kuwait and Qatar and the Emirates and Saudi didn't wait till there was a crisis. It's just like once you had all the oil, man, you just want to build a country as fast as possible. So you have to get these immigrants to come and do the work, do the labor, right? Because you don't have large populations. But in Korea, the issue is if you wait till there's a crisis, then you get big waves of immigrants and it transforms Korean culture tremendously.
I feel like it's slowing down now, though, especially like in Kuwait, for example.
Yeah.
Like you don't get people coming to Kuwait as often. More often than not, they're leaving because, I mean, especially from like what I've been told by my parents.
Yeah.
Like you have rules coming in, like something called Kuwaitization, which means at any employer, public or private, you've got to have at least something like 40% of your employees must be Kuwaiti. And you get hit with some sort of fine or some legal repercussion. And more often than not, people just end up leaving because, especially now, they've been like enforcing the laws like a bit harsher. So we've heard of people, especially who got deported.
So the laws about Kuwaitization happened due to the public sector not having a lot of Kuwaitis working in it because in comparison, Kuwaitis usually are paid more than expats. So it's in a businessman's perspective, it's much cheaper for him to employ expats.
Yeah.
It's much cheaper and their work is known to be better than Kuwaitis.
Yeah, got you. Well, this is why, listen, man, this is why here in the United States we have, historically speaking in the US, it's business that has really shaped our immigration policy. When you need workers, you bring more workers in. You relax it, right? If we need workers, especially agricultural workers, then the La Migra is going to just allow more and more people to come in without documents, over the border. And when we don't need workers, when there's an economic crisis here, we kind of shut the valves off a little bit. I mean, that's kind of true all around the world. So, hey, is there another question, by the way? Grandpa's place from the street. What meal do you think of when you think of home? Oh, damn, Grandpa, that's awesome. What meal do you think of?
I mean, it's not an Egyptian meal, but since I've been in Dubai, I don't know if it's actually from there.
Do the Emirates they don't have any dish that's uniquely Emirati.
They do.
Emirati?
Yes, they
do. It's different from Saudis and Kuwaitis?
What is it called? Huh? Yeah, some stuff.
Wait, which one?
The Emirates, though.
I don't.
Okay, what's
But mine is Mendi. I love Mendi.
What is it?
Mendi.
Mendi?
Yeah. But where is it originally from?
Inspired by Indian cuisine, at least.
Actually? Oh.
I mean, a lot of the Middle East is because you had like the spice trade from India to Middle East. So there's a lot of Indian influence for sure.
Yeah. Bro, how about you? When you think of a dish, like...
Well, I think of a dish in China,
like
actually.
a dish that...
In China. Like 煎饼果子.
Oh, so for you it goes back to China.
But if
how about for your brother?
Yeah, interestingly, his favorite dish is a Malay dish. And it's not even a Chinese dish, it's like a Malay dish in Singapore.
Are there any uniquely Kuwaiti dishes?
Yeah, there is.
I mean, but that everyone recognizes as a Kuwaiti dish, not that Kuwaitis have claimed like hummus or something,
I think there is.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think.
All right, man. Dude, listen, thanks. Wait, hang on. Thanks, you all.